Welcome! We have Monday. We are the foundation for the study of cycles. Today we have another live session about cycle and cycle analysis, and we will talk about cycles each Monday at 6 o'clock Central European Time. We will meet here to discuss cycles. Yes, and as you can see already today, we have a special guest, and we will discuss the Geomagnetic Butterfly Pattern. So with Edward Samokhvalov today joining us, and I choose this an article from our latest Cycles magazine. So if you're wondering why I'm choosing this topic, if you go to the Cycles magazine and the current issue and the journal, this is an article which is available there. So you can open the journal, read the article, and it's available for free from the foundation. We did a review on the weekend, by the way, about the whole magazine. And today's session is about market cycles or analyzing cycles in the market. And that's a key reason why I choose this article to be discussed in our Monday live session, because this has a lot to do with what we are all doing with the cycle analyzer, with dominant cycles. So at the end of the session, we will have a short summary. But the key is that Edward took it really from cycle analysis down to a strategic trading approach in the markets. And that's the topic we will discuss today. So therefore, Edward, thanks for joining us today. So just a quick introduction. Edward is I think an engineer for years. You're mainly engineering and from a financial perspective, an expert about Forex market and especially Forex pairs, spread pairs. So this is where your market knowledge is. And I think you're researching cycle analysis about algorithmic trading, machine learning. So that's where you are looking for with this cycle analysis. And thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Lars. Can you hear me? Is everything good?
All fine, all perfect, Edward. So you are.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. So we've got the butterfly here today. And thanks for having me. Right. Right. My main area of research, even though I've got my main background was engineering and Forex brokerages and infrastructure support, but my main area for the last couple of years was developing various algo trading strategies. So I've decided to do some trading myself finally after the after the technical support career. And pairs trading was something that got my attention, and I was trying to find some kind of non-conventional approaches, because usual pairs trading, basically what they do, they analyze like um, various threshold values for standard deviations of the price. And they tend to trade when the price breaks so many standard deviations from the normal, and that's how it goes. But a couple of years ago, back in 2017, I think, I was thinking of why not we try cycles to analyze the spreads of the pairs. Maybe that works. Even though I didn't know about your API or when to trade or the Cycles Foundation yet at this time, I was doing some other kind of cyclical things. And well, I found it to be a good addition to the conventional ways. Let's call it so.
Yeah, thanks, Edward. So you are a long-time user of cycles in the Forex and trading pairs topic. I mean, your article is about also using geomagnetic data for cycle analysis. I think this is what makes your approach very interesting, because I think you relate geomagnetic information also to a kind of sentiment information. So how did you start it now to combine your knowledge in Forex trading cycles with the geomagnetic data? How did you come to this point?
You see, in Forex, there are two problems. Like one of the problems is that the data is too perfect, it's too good, and it's very unified. So everyone has the same data, which is supposedly a good thing. But the bad thing is that since everyone has the same data, the markets are very efficient. The markets are very synchronous and they are very much correlated. So you cannot invent more stuff than everyone has in their hands. Okay, from one side. From the other side, you don't have too many sentiments, and these sentiments tend to be very discrete or like for instance some futures data or volumes of some big brokerages, they use that as sentiment, but it's either sort of non-complete or it's related to some particular company, to some to some particular brokerage, but it's not global, even though it's indicative. And one of the problems is that you don't have volumes as such, because
Mhm.
there's no one company that takes volumes from everywhere for forex markets. So what we have, so and volumes can be helpful to be a supporting indicator for our price action analysis or for any other kind of analysis. So, so interesting sentiments is one of the areas of research for Forex. Some people use news, for instance, and a couple of years ago, actually quite long ago, in 2010, I've met a trader who was using what he called solar weather for his trading. And that was the first time when I've read about AP indexes, and I've bumped into terms like spin, solar wind, the electron spin and solar wind and stuff like that. And so I've tried analyzing it. Back in 2010, this data was a bit dodgy. The format was not so good. I don't know why, but the people that work in astronomy, they tend to have very cryptic formats, as most of the scientists. Okay, and then in 2017, not in 17, in 2000, yeah, in 2017, I've came across your video for where I found that this approach actually can be applied technically. It's not just some kind of hypothetical approach, but you already had some codes, you had some videos, and the most importantly, and thanks for that, a big time thanks for that, you referred to the astronomy in Hamburg, the observatory in Hamburg, where they've got it in more or less humane format. Not ideal, but it was more or less humane format. So so that's where I came into it, and I've decided to get the cycles out of that data and see how we can read it. Because actually, if you take that geomagnetical data directly, it's not very readable. It's very it's very messy, meshy, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so let's maybe go step by step. So I think this is how you've come to these geomagnetic information, and I think that's it's not easy to find much information about that. You're right. So there's not much out. But the good point is the data is free. So if you want to get the AP data, it's out published for free and also by geomagnetic or space observatories. But let's get into your article. I think it's now interesting. So what you did with this stuff, especially. So first of all, before we get back to how you use the geomagnetic data, I think it's quite important to understand your idea on the trading approach, because you brought this down to trading. So let's, for the first 2 minutes, please explain a little bit your basic scenarios, what you are looking for when you're using these Forex pairs and spread.
All right. So basically, we've got four scenarios. Well, the concept behind pairs trading is to make sure that our trading approach is market neutral. Even though in this particular sense, we don't get 100% market neutral strategies, and probably there are not so many of those out there. But you get a little bit more degrees of freedom in your trading. So, so when you have two correlated instruments, when you open positions, what you do, you basically observe that the two curves are going together, and they generally they have similar distance between them. The distance, like it varies, it sort of expands and contracts, but in general, the distance is even. So you start trading when you see that the two instruments are going very close together or diverging too much. And that is so basically the concept behind is that you are making a you're basically trading a mean reversal strategy to the spread between two instruments.
Okay, so
Here,
that's yeah.
and yeah, well, basically you've got four scenarios there. And the good thing about pairs trading is that three of those four scenarios are in your favor, are actually in your favor. So, so in one of those scenarios, when they go when they go in the same direction, your basically your position stays pretty much the same, and they can go different direction. They can go the same direction, either up or down. And in this situation, your position stays pretty much the same. And then you've got an ideal situation, or when they merge together, okay. And you've got the worst situation when they diverge completely. And so basically, it's only one scenario out of the three where you start losing money. And that is the scenario that we try to minimize by analyzing the cycle of the spread. And to confirm that that cycle, we use geomagnetic data, and we use as a sentiment, as well as volatility that we use as a sentiment.
Okay, so thanks. I think this was just as a starter interesting. So what your trading approach is on that. So this is a technical approach anyhow. So now you bring in the cycles to determine when is when the first three scenarios, or to avoid the fourth scenario, to say it this way. And therefore you've used I think three data sets. No? So you used here the VIX index, the volatility index as one sentiment vehicle. I mean, this is another volatility index. I think it's very similar to the main VIX index. And then you brought in the AP index. So to summarize it just quickly, so you use three different sentiment indices, and the geomagnetic indices is just another sentiment measurement for you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now let's get to the cycle stuff you did with this kind of information. I will not talk about seasonality, which you also did in this chart here, but let's get back to one of your first findings then. So you or maybe you showed, maybe you can explain it better. So on chart 5, what are we seeing here in this chart, which you did then?
All right. So this is basically extract, a copy paste from the cycles tool that you've got in the members section in the Foundation for the Study of Cycles website. So I've copy pasted the subcycles, the subcycles of all those instruments, of every of those indexes. And actually, you usually end up in a situation when you've got a lot of them, like maybe 10 or so. Referring back to your video about geomagnetical index and about cycles, there was one idea that I've leaned upon. The idea was that we have to take some data series that are different in nature, by their nature or by their source, but the ones that have similar subcycles lengths, and that's what we can see here. I found that in all those three indexes, well, actually we call them two indexes because VIX is just VIX, it's pretty much the same. But actually, we can see that VIX and volatility VIX are not that much the same. They actually have divergence inside, even though they're similar. And you can only see that through the analysis of subcycles. So it came out that you've got those four, the cycles of length 27, 55, 91, 154. You've got those pretty much similar to those pretty much existing in all of them. And I could probably I could probably concentrate here on the Bartels score. That's the 3rd column. It's called Bart. Where because we would like personally, I would prefer to only lean on the subcycles that have high Bartels score. And we see that the cycle of 91 is strong. Not only it's present, but it's also strong in all of them. That's why I've underlined it. And that is basically, if you think about it, what is 91 day? It's probably a quartile, yeah, something like that. So we could, we could speculate a bit, even though it's not technically a trading. Actually, it's pure quartile. You know why? Because I've been in this analysis, I've used real days, not just the trading days. So I've got Sundays, Saturdays, and all the holidays I've got there. So it's a pure quartile then, and we see that overall those are similar on the quarterly basis.
Yeah, I think what's very important here, so therefore I think let's discuss this for a moment. So what you analyzed has nothing to do with the Forex pairs, at least right now. So we are looking at AP, a volatility index. So you're now, and this idea, and I repeat this very often, so that you should find data set, which is not the core market data, because market data is anyhow lagging or is a result of some events which happened before. So you're looking for other data sets, and especially here you use the geomagnetic data set as an additional sentiment measures, and then you take the cycles within these data sets, and then you discover there are 4 similar cycles which appear in all 3 data sets, or at least 2 data sets. Now it's volatility and the AP index. So and this is a common approach. So therefore I want to highlight that, or thank you also that you wrote this down or nailed this down into a practical approach. So and what have you done then afterwards? So you have used the data, you have uploaded the data in the analyzer. So I think you also prepared the AP data set and uploaded the AP data to the scanner, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't been using the scanner directly. I've been using the API, but
Yeah.
we can say that the scanner is based on API.
It's the same. Yeah, you can. It's the same when you upload it. I mean, you're an algorithm trader, so you don't care about the visual interface. You're using the API directly.
Yeah, I love visual interfaces still.
That's okay, but that's another topic for algorithmic trading. So what have you done now with these 4 cycles? Once you have discovered those in these data series, what was your next step?
The idea was to see that there is something common between Earth and global volatility. Like there's something common between how the Earth feels, if that makes any sense, if that's not too esoteric, and and how the volatility on the market feels. And even though we all have this presupposition that there's something inside there, but I've got the numbers out, and these numbers say that there is something common. So this basically allows us to continue our conversation in that direction and go further.
So when and then you plotted this composite cycle out of these 4 cycles, which is shown, I think, here in the chart in your article, right? So what are we seeing here in this composite cycle plot then, and how do you use this composite cycle plot?
Here we see that the pattern is basically shifting here and there. So the approach is just like the approach is with any kind of technical oscillator. So, for instance, if you're a technical trader, and some of our viewers are, most of us have traded, things like MACD, ADX, what else? Vigorously index, like anything that is an oscillator on the market. What you do, you're adjusting the periods, 1 period or 2 periods, and you're making sure that your indicator is matching the peaks on the recent part of the data, so on the right part of the data that is closest to current prices. And that's actually do the same thing with the cycles too. And if you are covering the latest peaks with the peaks of your indicator, it means that you can assume that the next couple of cycles or couple of periods will be working as per the indicator's strategy, whatever it's used. So we are basically trying to find the situation where you've got an alignment of peaks on the AP, volatility, and also our spread, which is the blue curve here.
Yeah, I think this is now what you added here. So before we just analyzed the cycles in the volatility and the AP index, and now you also did the same on this is now the Forex pair, no? or the spread of two Forex pairs, what you're here. And now you're looking when the composite cycles of your spread, which is what you're trading then in the market, is in alignment with peaks of the AP and the volatility index, right? So, and this is,
and it also should have some kind of let's call it momentum, maybe not, maybe let's call it like a potential. You see, there's a potential if you look at it like from the perspective of a spring, like you are sort of expanding the string there, and that means that you've got a potential to contract the whole picture. So in this sense, you've got the peaks of the volatility and the AP index being aligned in the bottom, and the other part of the spring is being expanded up. And what we expect now is that this potential energy, well, of course, that's just a metaphor, okay, is there to reverse the picture. And that is what I call the butterfly thing. So the butterfly thing, like we got this, the potential situation is when you've got the left part of the butterfly, and the right part is when you've got the other wing, and the situation just reverses itself.
Well, before we come to your final pattern, maybe it's important to revisit, because this is also a finding from Dewey, and so therefore it's important for us from the Foundation for the Study of Cycles, because what you showed just a second ago was the alignment of cycle turns, which is what Dewey also calls the cycles within cycles approach, and they don't need to two have been turned at the top and the other one at the low. So it does not mean they all need to have the same turn at the same high or low. They could be also, some are turning at a high and some are turning at the low, because sentiment might be to read vice versa. So you just need an alignment of major dominant cycle or composite cycle. So this is what Dewey always tried to teach us in his findings, so that you look on different data sets and look out when different cycles come into alignment. And I think this is one of the best showcases, I would say, of what he tried to tell us every time. And now to bring in these geomagnetic data set, I think this is what you mentioned. You're looking for, every trader is looking for the edge somehow. So this is a data set which is not used by everyone. So you're looking for these information which you're then ahead of the game to use to trade that. And I think what I really like, Noah, this is not only a scientific approach. I think you use this for use this in a real or in a simulated trading environment. So this approach has been, I think you traded this approach live since summer last year. So or what? When?
Yeah, pretty much. I've supported a link for the my book where we've got my demo account. So that is a so-called simulated trading environment. Yeah. Even though the prices are live, like the prices are just like they are in the market, and it seems to be working. So I'm still using it, even though I would say not to take this so literally, because we like you don't trade geomagnetics directly only. But this little potential let's call it this little trick works pretty well as a supporting instrument for your orders. But of course, you also use technicals, use this and that to analyze every order, every signal, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we don't need to go to the trading details here, but what I really want to encourage then everyone, you shared the link, yeah, to your trading statistics in these articles, so that and that's really nice that you share your real trading stats, even though it was a simulated account, but you really traded this approach, and the statistics are there to see. So the link is in the documents. So I would encourage everyone get back to the link, and I think what for me then was really interesting looking at your statistics trading this approach, I think you made a 30% a profit just over 6 or 7 months. Am I correct? I'm not sure, but I think in the overview you had a 100K account, and I think you made 30K profit in 6 months of trading or something like that.
Well, in fact, it was 42 accounts by the end, 32% plus 42% by the end of 2020. But I mean, of course, that percentage, it depends also on your money management, on your risk position. So it's not indicative. It's not really indicative as of the strategy quality whatsoever. But if anyone from the viewers would like to get to get more details about this one, I would recommend to look at the latest trades. So I would say that the latest trades that start from October are especially dedicated to geomagnetic activity. So those ones will be most indicative. Anything that goes before October has sort of mixed approach, but it still has some of it.
Yeah. So you mean you're still updating the spreadsheet?
Well, in fact, if we, well, I'm just saying that in this historic data, the trades that are related to geomagnetic activity, like the 100%, are the ones that go after November 2020, after October, November. So because the strategy is mixed there, so I have to say honestly about the statistics. But I'm actually still I'm still trading, and this MyFX book link is still live. And you've got some trades for 2021. I think it's made a couple of percents in 2021, and you've got some open trades there as well. So everyone is welcome to follow it. Yeah.
Okay, Edward, thanks. So if I want to try to summarize it also for our viewers or members here, so and please correct me if I maybe not correct with summarizing it. So you get the AP index data, which is out in the web anywhere, so you will find it if you Google it. So you upload it into the cycle scanner, and I mean you do it with the API, but it's the same as you upload it. You run the cycle scanner, and then you take the 4 cycles which you also found in the volatility index to build the cycle composite, right? So.
Yep.
And then you don't purely trade the ups and downs of the composite. Then your next step is that you look for cycle alignments of these 4 composite cycle indicators. So you just don't purely long short from the overall composite. Now you look at these points in time when the key turning points of these composites get into alignment. So this is the point when you will establish a trend.
Yeah, actually, there's even one more step to that. So the first thing, we are looking for the butterfly alignment, but the second important thing is that we are looking for the butterfly alignment to be on the plot of composite cycles as well as on the plot of the dominant cycles. So we want as always in the methodology, we need the composite cycles to be supporting the dominant cycles picture. And when we have that, so we're actually using eight graphs, okay, 8 charts. 4 of them are for dominant, 4 are for composite. And if that works, then of course one would have to check some technicals, reversal candles, spikes, reversal spikes, maybe some Fibonacci levels, maybe some nice reversal figures on the price, like some kind of head and shoulders, W's, M's, whatsoever. Some strong reversal signals should be indicating that. My favorite personally are the spikes. If you've got reversal, I call them spikes. That is, in more conventional terms, that's bearish or bullish reversal bars on daily charts.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially if you've got two reversal bars with spikes, that is for sure you're gonna have some momentum there.
Yeah, I think now we get more into the technical trading approach, which is beyond the scope of our cycle analysis session here, because we try to focus on cycle analysis, and then the next step is to combine this with your technical trading knowledge, risk management, what's needed. So this is where we can't get into, and this is not our focus from the Foundation for the Study of Cycles. But and therefore let's wrap it up, or let's just get to an end, because I think the outline you have found here is more or less what I would recommend to everyone. Look out for what is your market or your trading vehicle. In this case, Forex spread pair. So this is where Edward has really knowledge. So, and you can find your road. Second, I mean, think about what data sets could you use in regards to different measures which are in relation to your main data, which Edward did, like the AP geomagnetic and sentiment data. Then try to wrap up the dominant cycles out of these data set and look for cycle alignments. And then combine this with your risk management, technical skills, and this is what Edward did. So therefore, I like your article very much, because it's not specific to space weather or geomagnetic data. I think it's mainly explaining how you use this very interesting data set, by the way, which we could run another show only on geomagnetics and space weather, but how to use the cycles to put it into practice. So therefore, I would thank you, Edward, first of all, writing this all down so that we have it in a magazine that everybody can look it up and read it. And maybe as I'm just, so let's keep a while on questions from the audience. So feel free to drop in your questions here. I'm just seeing one that a live chart as an example. I mean, we don't have prepared live charts here, but what's your current view, or what's the next cycle alignment maybe you're looking out into the future? So what's the current state of these cycles? Could you explain a little bit on that, maybe in the current situation?
If the question is related to any particular trades that I'm preparing, is that if it's that, yeah, actually I've got a monitor. I check them daily, especially on Mondays. I tend to trade once per week, so we've got a few there. Actually, if you give me a few seconds, I would have it on my VPS here. So that, okay, I can even do the screen sharing.
You should. I mean, this is live. We have not scheduled that, but if you want to test share a chart and explain.
Let me do that. So actually, I've got some fresh signals from Friday, but that would be pretty much the same as today's, because that's daily bars. Okay, where's the button to screen share? Actually, well, I'm not sure actually if I can screen share here. Is it possible to do from the?
It should be possible if you I think in the lower right of the screen you see the symbol, but do
yeah, I'm there. So that work. So so all right. So I've got some data here on my VPS. Just give me a few seconds.
Sure.
Actually, it's a good opportunity to have such a question, because that's something we haven't prepared. And actually, we still have data. So when we go here, got some signals, and okay. So do we have? Okay, actually, yeah, I think you can see my screen. So that is the analysis.
Not now. So let me just cross check. We can't see your screen right now. But
Well, in fact, you could see it because I see that it's shared, actually.
yeah, we see a large screen now, your full monitor with. So maybe you just need to share the window with your chart on.
Okay. So maybe let me just say it orally.
Yeah.
Okay, that analysis was made on Friday, and I've got a few. I've got 4 spreads here: Australian dollar CAD to Euro CAD, Euro USD to New Zealand dollar USD, GBP out to GBP NZD, and GBP CAD to New Zealand CAD. And I see that there's one particular spread, British pound to Australian dollar versus British pound to New Zealand dollar. And the dominant cycle of this spread is at the phase of 97 at the moment. Well, that was a couple of days ago, last week. So that means that the spread between GBP out versus GBP NZD is expected to contract. And I've got a picture here, and actually,
But Edward, I would recommend. I think we are now going far more today too much into the details. If you want to share a link to some live charts, which I see you're running now, or can this is now the cycle you're showing, right? So I can try to. Bring it in.
Or perhaps we could attach this file to to the in the comments in the comment section.
Exactly. I would recommend, let's if you can prepare a live chart in a document, send it to me, or even you can post the link in the video down below, so that the users can review the chart which you might have, because otherwise I think we would go too much into the details now on the session. But thanks for your question. So Edward, if you can commit to show a chart in the video discussion, I think this would be great for the ones to use it.
Actually, I've been able to send you the screenshots on Skype, so maybe you can share it, because I'm not sure if I can do that from my side. But I've just made the picture, and this picture shows this analysis to some recent instruments, and that would be basically GBP Australian dollar versus GBP New Zealand dollar, and we have exactly this situation now when the spread between those two is on the top. So it's expected to contract.
Yeah, wait a second. I try to bring your chart in now here. So I've received your chart. So let's try it. I mean, this is live. We can do it. Try it, and I will now try to bring your chart on the screen. So let me see if it works. Yeah, I just need to bring you in the back for that so that we can see. Okay, so now your chart is on. We can hear you, Edward. So if you want to, I think you should be able also to see it.
Yep.
Feel free to comment on that.
Okay, so basically, is there a way you can put it full screen?
Yeah, I hope that we don't lose you if I do that. So wait a second, Edward. We can't hear you right now. I just need to add you. as speaker in this scene. So now you are back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we can
Right.
hear you. So now it's perfect. So now we see the chart and can hear you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you see on the top of the chart, that's dominant cycle, and you've got an alignment where volatility and the price and the spread and the volatility speed is very close to the upper part of the cycle of the upper part, and then you see that the orange line is on the bottom in the composite index, and you see that it already started moving up. So this is normal. Like you don't because the geomagnetic activity sometimes it's not very it's not very stable. So it's normal when sometimes you would have geomagnetic activity spiking in one day in a second. But the important thing is that the bottom is very close to the recent date. Okay. So what you can see now is that the blue line of the composite cycle is on top,
Yes.
and the geomagnetic cycle is in the bottom, even though it have already moved, but it was there very close.
Yeah.
So you don't have to literally. You just have to look at the basic idea of the pattern, that it's there, or if it was there, before.
Yeah. And this is today or on the weekend. So this is the actual cycle as it is of today.
That is last week. That is as of 19th. So that happened 19th. That was So that was Friday, basically. So the data. So that was made on Friday, which means that the data is one day back
Okay.
on Thursday. So that was the situation Thursday.
Okay. So and this is what you're looking for as an alignment. So and it's the pair GBP AUD versus GBP New Zealand dollar. Okay. So and this would tell you what about the spread. So what's now your trading takeaway out of this from this current situation?
So in this situation, we'll look at the most recent bar. Yeah, exactly where your mouse is. You see that the spread is on the top. You see that also the volatility speed VVX is on the top. So it's important to mention that you can have the butterfly in different ways. So in this situation, you've got an alignment of a spread and volatility and VIX on one side, and geomagnetics on the other side. This is also valid. But in the other situations I've shown before, you've got spread on one side and the other three on the other side.
And this is the same, just using one dominant cycle, right? So in the upper chart, it's just one cycle. This is why this looks more clean, but we see the same alignment here. And this is the composite cycle plot, now using more than one cycle here.
Yeah. So what we are expecting from this picture is that the spread between GBP Australian dollar and GBP New Zealand dollar will go down. And in the general sense, I don't have the picture of the spread itself at the moment, like as per the price. But in general sense, we are expecting GBP to Australian dollar to go down as a pair, and GBP to New Zealand dollar will go either up or will pretty much stay at the same place.
Okay.
So that's my forecast.
Great, Edward. So thank you. I think this is now really nailing it down, even in a live scenario with current data. We could be more up to date. So let's review how this plays out then after the fact in a week or so. But this makes it clear. I think this in regards to your question about kind of live charts. So I hope even if we had some not prepared this, but as it is live, we are happy, and that's always the point, joining the session live, because that's the only chance to get us hooked up. Okay, so Edward, I think for today we are running now almost 45 minutes. So I thank you for joining us today and explaining your approach to our members and our community out there, because it's a very nice approach using these cycles. It's using the same tools every member has from the foundation and bringing in a very interesting data set about geomagnetic data. Thanks, Edward, for being on the show, and we will review your topics. And yeah, feel free to drop us a note if you have some updates. You are always welcome here to explain your cycle analysis.
Thanks for having me here, Lars. It was actually, I really enjoyed doing the presentation. Thanks for your initial research that got me to that point. And I wish everyone happy trading, and everyone have a good week. All the best. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, Edward. Thanks all in the community. I will hope we will meet next Monday, same time, same week, cycle analysis. Thanks for joining today and see you next week. Bye.
Happy trading, everyone.